You can check out this from here. You can check out this. If you miss, that's what. Okay, sir. This is chapter 1. We mentioned information systems in business today. This is the chapter title. In this chapter, we'll actually describe the information systems features, and nowadays most of the business organizations are investing heavily on information technology. What are the reasons? We will describe about those, and then we'll talk about the dimensions of information systems. There are 3 dimensions of information systems. As a whole, in the MIS course, we will talk about these 3 dimensions. That is, we call organizational dimensions, management dimensions, and technology dimensions. Let's start from our first topic, this one. You see how information systems are transforming business. That is, you see, information systems are transforming business in various ways. These are some ways. Number 1, it says emerging mobile digital platform. So, due to this mobile digital platform, nowadays most of the business organizations are allowing their employees to use their own devices. The term is known as BYOD, that is bring your own devices. Bring your own devices. So what would happen if you allow your employees to use the devices? That means you would get the real-time information. Suppose as an employee you are outside the organization and you are getting, you can put down the data on the mobile devices, like your organization is managing or using some kind of apps, and you are putting those on the mobile devices, and you can get the real-time data very quickly. So this is one of the platform that actually force the organization to transform. And if you don't transform, or if you don't adopt this mobile digital platform, you are unable to compete with your rivals, because your competitors are using such kind of mobile digital platform. Second one is growing use of business use of big data. So big data means big, this is millions and billions of data. Organizations are dealing with any kind of data related to organizational interest. It might be potential customers. So organizations are storing all data in a central data repository, and by that way they are actually determining the customer's demand, and they are deciding what will happen in future. So this big data platform, and this is happening due to what we call by applying the softwares, or by applying the database. If you invest heavily on databases, you can store your data, and you know most of the advertising firms are investing on spyware. And for spyware, you are getting the customers' behaviors, customers' buying behaviors. So all these are happening due to this big data. And number 3 is growth in cloud computing. Nowadays we are living in an era that is computing, we call cloud computing era. So you know about computer, but this is cloud computing era. So what is the concept of cloud computing? Cloud computing means online computing or on-demand computing. Again sir, online computing and on-demand computing. That is, wherever you go, you may use the computing powers. Think about your life. Here on your personal life, nowadays you are using the cloud platform. What kind of cloud platform are you using?
Adobe.
You are using, like, as a storage, you are using what? Dropbox. You are using Google Drive. You are using OneDrive. You are using these to store your data. And besides this, you see YouTube. This is the content. That is called here content. We call cloud computing as content. So whatever video you are creating, you can store it on the cloud, that is on the YouTube platform, and you can access it from anywhere. Or in the cloud, that another platform is software as a service, which is known as SaaS. Software as a service is we call Google Play Store. You see, on the Play Stores nowadays, you are not maintaining the data on your backup on your computers. Why? Because you see, you don't need to. You can install the software from anytime, anywhere. That is what cloud computing. So due to this, we call cloud computing assist you to work more flexibly. That is, you can work from anywhere. And due to these reasons, we call organizations are transforming the business. Second one is globalization opportunities. Before that, tell me, I want to ask you one question. What is globalization? That is the meaning. Whole world will work like a village. Okay, that is just meaning. But what's the inner meaning of this globalization?
It is the process of internalization of businesses or customers.
Process of
Internalizations of businesses.
internationalization of business. Okay, why don't we call this as breaking barriers? Breaking any kind of barriers. Any kind of barriers. It might be communication barriers, it might be trade barrier, it might be cultural barrier. So globalization actually here removing the barriers. Globalization is reducing or removing the barriers. Now this globalization brings us some opportunities and threats. As a business student, you are enjoying some kind of opportunity and some kind of threat. So as a business student, what kind of opportunity you are enjoying? Due to globalizations. Think about this slide. This book, writer from USA and slides prepared by USA writers, and we are here in Bangladesh, we are using these materials due to what? Globalization. So globalization assists you to learn more, access education materials from anywhere. This is what? This is due to it happened due to globalization.
For other example, the mobile phone.
Mobile phone, through this mobile phone internet access, you can access anything. Through internet you can access any kind of information. This is happened due to what? Globalization. So if there is restriction, what would happen? You see, you are able to access them. So this is one of the benefits or opportunity. Now think about trade. As a business student, what kind of trade you are getting?
The local business plants are
What kind of benefit you are getting?
local entrepreneurs are facing some problems because marketing.
This is the business organization's trade. What about you? As a student, what kind of trade you are getting?
এখানে আমাদের কম্পিট করতে হচ্ছে তো ইন্টারন্যাশনাল মার্কেটের সাথে। সেই ক্ষেত্রে তো আমাদের সমস্যা হচ্ছে যে আমরা কম্পিট করতে পারতেছি কিনা আমাদের গ্লোবালাইজেশনের সাথে মিল রেখে।
Okay, this is one good point. You see, as there is no barriers, that means you need to compete with cross-national competitors. Cross-national competitors, and these cross-national competitors, this is a challenge. They are getting their lesson or getting their degrees in better infrastructures. They are living in privileged society, privileged environment. So they have better technology know-how. So, but you in the job field, you need to compete with them. You need to compete with them. Challenge as a business student. This is happened due to globalization. Because in the job field, you are getting such kind of business challenges. They are producing the product that is able to produce the product at lower cost of stone flowers.
I am বারবার শুধু স্যার অফ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, আবার আসতে নেটওয়ার্ক ইজ টু উইক। এখন ঠিক আছে।
Okay, just go ahead. You don't need to close this. This is actually recording. This is degree content. You see, lecture content. So what we are talking, globalization brings us both opportunity and threats. I think if I ask you these questions, you would be able to talk about this. There is some kind of opportunity we are getting, some kind of threat we are getting. Now look at this graph. This graph shows in 1980 the overall investment in IT was 32% compared to the total investment. Sir, you need to concentrate. So in 1980, if you are investing $100, from this $100, $32 belongs to information technology. And in 2010, if you are investing $100, from this $100, 52% or $52 belongs to what? Information technology. That means investing in information technology is increasing year by year. Previously you were investing $32, now you are investing what? $52. Question is where it has replaced. That is, information technology has replaced on other source of capital. What are those capital? Answer, you see, it replaced on human resources. It replaced on buildings. It replaced. You see, nowadays you can operate your business from where on server. You are investing on server. So your server, that is, you are investing on technology rather than building and machinery, or rather than human resources. Like what? Now you are for supervising employees. Previously you need to recruit supervisor. Now what you are recruiting? Where you are investing? You are investing on CC camera. You are this is CC camera. This is the technology. You are investing. This is the technology. That means your investment goes to information technology rather than human resources. Or you are investing in some kind of car, electronics car. Some human resource department are monitoring the employees by using these devices. So this is what technology investment. So our point is, business firms are investing heavily on IT. Why? Reason is the price and cost of other source of capital are increasing year by year, whereas the price and cost of information technology is decreasing. Again, sir, the price and cost of other source of capital is increasing, whereas the price and cost of information technology is what? Decreasing. That's why business firm investing heavily on information technology rather than
human resource.
Rather than other source of capital. Rather than other source. Now, if I ask you, why do business firms invest heavily on information technology? What would be answer? Sir? Business firms are investing heavily on information technology. I mentioned that is the cost of other source of capital are increasing. Whereas the cost of information technology is what? Decreasing. So rather than recruiting one employee in these organizations for supervising, you may invest on CC camera. You see, cost is what? Lower. Cost is lower. So that's why business firms are investing heavily on information technology rather than, you see, nowadays through robots, because robotics, robots are doing lots of activities. So if you just invest on robots, that is what? IT, information technology, cost is what? Lower. Okay? So that's why those business firms are investing heavily on IT rather than other source of capital. Now we'll talk about the digital firm. That is, your duty is to make your firm as digital, or run the firm as digital firm. Due to the technological improvement,
স্টপ করে দেবো স্যার।
What's problem?
আগেরটা স্যার আপনি সাইন করছিলেন ওটা মনে হয় ওই পূর্বে আগের সাথে না মেইলটাতে সাইন করতে
Okay, digital farm. So suppose your organizations, you just need to make your organization as digital. Need to make your organization as digital. So to make your organization as digital, you need to bring some changes on your organization. So what type of changes, sir? Sir, what type of changes you may require to maintain? This is the features of digital farm. That is, think about this. You are working on an organization and you need to convert these organizations as digital organizations. Like our country has planned to make the country as digital Bangladesh. So as like that, they are digital farm. So to make a farm as digital farm, you need to maintain these features. Number one, that is, if a farm will be digital, if the farm maintains significant business relationships are digitally enabled and mediated. Digitally enabled and mediated. Okay, if I don't explain this, I think you would have faced problem. Okay, what is significant business relationship, or what kind of relationship you don't need to maintain? What's the business? What kind of relationship you need to maintain to run the business? Relationship with
Suppliers, buyers.
customers, all kinds of stakeholders. All kinds of stakeholders. So if you maintain all the relationships through digitally enabled technologies, then your farm would be digital farm. This is the number one feature. Number two is your farm would be digital if the farm maintain core business process through digitally enabled networks or digitally enabled technologies. So what is business process? I mentioned it. But business process from input to output. All the functional areas are including on your business process, from finance to distribution, from production to distribution. All these are what? Included on business process. Now, if you maintain all these functional activities, digitally, like our organizations. Suppose this classroom, academic part. So, if we maintain the whole process digitally. Okay, before discuss about digital, I need to talk about digital. Digital means computer based. Digital, that is, computer runs through what? Binary notation 0 and 1. So digital, that means here computer based technology. So if you run your academic part digitally, you will find here exam part, your administrative part, your public relation and admission part, everything digitally, then this part or this university will be digital university. This is the second requirement to be digital farm. And third one is key corporate assets are managed digitally. That is to maintain your farm as digital, you need to maintain the key corporate assets, all kinds of legacy related assets. You need to maintain them digitally enabled technologies. So digitally enabled technologies. Example, like your patent, your your bank, all kinds of legacy related technologies. If you legacy related issues, if you maintain them through digitally enabled technologies, then that will be what? Digital farm. And here, as a whole, if anyone asks you to convert a farm to digital farm, what kind of features you need to maintain? I think you would able to discuss this. These are the features. That is, a farm would be digital if the farm maintains these kind of features. As a whole, these are the three features of digital farm. And these digital farms offers greater flexibility in organization and management due to two reasons. Or digital farm is more likely to get benefit from globalization than traditional farm. More likely to get benefit from globalization than traditional farm Time shifting, another is specific. Now question is what? Time shifting is what we call, there will be no time barriers. There will be no time barriers. Time barriers means there will be, we call space shifting means there will be no, there is no place barrier. There is no place barrier. That means you can run your business from anywhere. You can run your business from anywhere. That's why you see, in case of traditional firm, there is a time barrier. Like traditional firm operate from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Traditional firm operate here 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's why there is a barrier. There is a barriers, but in case of digital firm, there is
24 hours.
no barrier. So there is no time barrier, there is no place barrier. That's why we call digital firm is more likely to get benefit from globalization than traditional firm. Now we'll talk about the investment on information technology. That is, if you invest on information systems, you may get some strategic objectives. These are 6 strategic objectives. We'll talk about this later. Before that, there is a slide. You see, it says the interdependence between organization and information technology. That is, one depends on another. Information technology and organization. Information technology and organization. That means one depends on another. What are these two? One is information technology, another is organization. Question is how? You see, if you look at this part, this is the organization part, business part is the organization, and this is the information system. Now, if you change the strategy, you need to bring some kind of information technology like software, hardware, data management, telecommunication. Example, like you are planning to run your business digitally, and this forces you to invest heavily on information technology. This forces you to bring some new softwares, hardware, data management, and telecommunications. All these combined as a whole, okay, you can run your business as digital firm. So due to this business strategy, your information technology has changed. That means business firm shape the pattern of the information technology. Now after introducing this, you see, after introducing this, you may require to change the organizational structures, or you have brought new technology, but employee don't know how to use the technology. Then you need to give training to them. You need to give training to them. Otherwise, employee won't be able to run the technology. So for that reason, you need to make some changes on your organizational structures. You need to recruit new employees, or you need to train up the employees. You need to train up the employees. And all these are happening due to what? This we call, there is a interdependency. That is, business firms technology shape the pattern of business. That's why because there is a. Who'll say about this? Who'll explain this? Yeah. Okay.
Then we discuss the interdependence between organization and IT sector. Because if you want to make any change in my organization, I say for example I need to be digital, so I need to do some changes in my information system. I need to buy software, hardware, data management, and telecommunications. And for that, you also need to change in my organizational structure because now I am already digital. So according to my digital database software system, I need to hire new employees, skilled employees, so that it matches each other.
Okay. That means we see one depends on another. Business firm depends on information technology, and information technology depends on what? Business firms. Again, I am giving this example again. You have a plan to run the business digitally. This is the business strategy, and this forces you to invest on what? Information technology. After investing on information technology, then it forces you to change the structure of the organization. Change the structure of the organization. And that means what? This These also force this, and that's why because there is a interdependence. Now we will talk about the 6 strategic business objectives. As we discussed these points, here you see business firms are investing heavily on information technology to achieve 6 strategic business objectives. 6 strategic business objectives. Number 1 is operational excellence, new product, service, and business model. These are 6 points. We will talk about these details on later slide. Number 1 point, operational excellence. Again, sir, you are investing on information systems or information technology to gain operational excellence. Do you know what is operational excellence? That is, your operation will be excellent. If you invest on IT, your operation will be excellent. Can you give one example? Think about this. Right now we are in an operation. Right now we are in an operation. We are in the business process. Now think about the impact of information technology on this business process.
যেমন আমাদের বিগত বছরগুলোতে আমরা ম্যানুয়ালি লেকচার লইয়ে করতাম, এখন আমরা পাওয়ার পয়েন্টে লেকচার লইয়ে করতাম।
Okay, think about this PowerPoint, projectors, here laptops, all these are here actually enhance the process. These make operation as excellent. So if this could happen on these organizations, think about some other business organizations. That is what kind of operation they are doing. These technology actually assisting the organization to enhance their business processes or make their operation as excellent. They have given one example like Walmart's retail link system. I think this is due to this Walmart system has totally they make their operations as excellent. But here you don't need to mention this in the example. On your exam, you can give any type of example. Like I have given example from this group. Here, this technology here enhance the operational excellence.
So, another example is my organization is manually the accounts development and usually in the software basic accounts system in the operational excellence.
That is to make your operation more quick. You just invested on software. So here, one of the point of IT investment is what? To make excellent operation. This is the number 1. Number 2, that is you are even business firms are investing heavily on IT to achieve 6 strategic business objectives. Number 1 is operational excellence. Number 2 is new product, service, and business model. So business model means the way you run your business. There is a business model. Now this IT investment help you to generate new idea and new concept, and based on that you are creating new kinds of product, new kinds of platforms. Like here you see they have given examples like Apple's iPod, iPads, and Google's Android operating systems and Netflix. Think about Google Android. From this platform, lots of apps are created, and you are getting lots of solutions. Some other solutions are created. All these happen from what? This is the we call investing on IT. So business firms are investing on IT to achieve what? New product, service, and business model. This is the number 2. And I can give you example like Apple, iPhone. Think about iPhone. Regularly they are generating new ideas and concepts, and one version is different from another version. Like Apple iPhone 7 version, there are some kind of innovations. There is no what we call wireless headphone. This is the innovations. Wireless headphone. That means wire become obsolete. Wire become obsolete. Now think about Apple 6, iPhone 6. They introduced Apple Pay. So what's that? To transact, you require what? Credit card. And you need to bring some kind of plastic card. But if you just sign up here on your Apple Pay, you don't need to bring plastic card separate. That means plastic become what? Plastic become obsolete. That means here, this is the innovation. Think about iPod. After introductions of iPod, you CD, compact disc. Compact disc become what? Obsolete, backdated. So this is the innovation. These are happening due to information technological, here we call disruption. Okay, this is the number 2. We call business firms are investing heavily on information technology to achieve new product, service and business model. Number 3 is customer and supplier intimacy. Customer and supplier intimacy. So what is that? That is, you are investing on IT to make intimate relationship with the customers and with the suppliers. Like what? If you want to retain your customers, you need to give feedback at a real time. Whatever your customers are complaining, you need to give feedback to them. And how do you able to do that? If you invest heavily on information technology. Suppose on your infrastructures, sir, on your infrastructures, you have better infrastructures. You are engaging some employees to respond on the Facebook messengers, to respond on any kind of social medias, or whatever customer complaint you are giving feedback. And due to that, you are maintaining what? Intimate relationship with the customers and suppliers. This is the number 3. And number 4 is improved decision making. That is, sir, what we are talking? We are talking business firms are investing on IT to achieve 6 strategic business objectives. This is the number 4. Improve decision making. And improved decision making, we go business firms are investing on IT to make decisions properly. What are the outcomes of inaccurate information? Here are some outcomes of inaccurate information. So if you don't have accurate or exact information, you may face some kind of overproduction, underproductions, and misallocation of resources and poor response times. Poor response time. So these such kind of problem you may face. This is happened, we call inaccurate information. And when you invest on information technology, information will be accurate. By that way, you can remove such kind of problem. And number 5 is competitive advantage. That is, business firms are investing on IT to make their organizations as competitive better position. In the competitive market, they will be in a better position if they invest on IT. Example, you see, if you gain any one of the previous 4, that means you have competitive advantage over your rival. Like you have better technology know-how, you are providing we call operational excellency or maintaining intimate relationship with the customer and suppliers. That means what? You have competitive advantage over rivals. So business firms are investing on IT to achieve what? Competitive advantage also. This is the number 5. And last one is survival. That is, business firms are investing on IT to survive in the market. So what's that? They are investing not because they want to, but because they have. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Like they are bound to do that. Due to government regulation. Sometimes firms are investing on IT to what? Due to government. That is, government imposed regulation. That's why they are investing on IT. Example. In USA, the government has imposed this regulation, that is the companies must maintain email for 5 years. And due to this regulation, they need to invest heavily on their servers. So you see, while you are investing due to government regulation, so this is what? Survival. You are investing to achieve survival also. And another example like Citibank's introductions of ATM. Nowadays, you don't think about any bank business without ATM, automatic teller machine. See, so this is become what? Part and parcel of your business process. And this part is because if you don't, you won't able to survive. The as a whole, sir, business firms are investing heavily on IT to achieve 6 business strategic objectives. So 6 strategic business objectives. What are those? Number 1 is operational excellence. Number 2, new product, service and business model. Number 3, customer and supplier intimacy. Number 4, improve decision making. Number 5, competitive advantage. Number 6, survival. Clear? Now if I ask you in the exam, that is business firms are investing heavily on IT to achieve some strategic business objectives. What are those? You need to mention these 6. You see, I have explained these 6. That is okay. If you, very simple. If you invest on IT, your operation will be excellent. If you invest on IT, you may maintain the relationship with the customers, intimate relationship. So these are points. Now we'll talk about information system. In the first class, I have mentioned this information systems. What is information systems? We call a set of activities that or set of interrelated components that collect, process, store and distribute information. That collect, process, store and distribute information to support decision making, coordination and control. I have given example of your routine. Routine is the information. You see, to make this routine, we collected your registrations data, then we process these registrations and we store these on the database, then we distribute these to students as what? Routine. And based on this routine, you are here. This routine is the information, and individual part of this routine, like classroom, this is what?
Data, sir.
This is data. This is data. So information system, when you call information system actually work. This is the whole thing. Data is raw fact, information is systemized fact. So if I call you difference between data and information. Again, sir, data is raw fact, information is systemized fact. Another example, data and information. Like in the routine, I mentioned that classroom is data, course name data, teacher's name data, then here student ID, batch name data. All these are what? Data. And we systematically combine all these in a way that this become what? Information. Then this is routine is the information. Now tell me another data and information. This one is data, this one is information. Sir, give me another example.
Data is primary data, secondary data.
That is the report data. Data and information.
Say for example, income statement.
Okay, income statement.
There are several data here. The expenditure, revenues.
All these are individual data.
Individual data.
Okay.
Typically, the company is giving some messages. So it is information.
Simply you see, okay, think about this. One sales figure. One sales executive put down the sales data. This is one data. So this you won't able to make decision. But when you compile lots of sales figures in a place and you call this is the daily sales. Or this is the weekly sales. This is the monthly sales. This is what? Information. One student's result. Nobody would say what does it indicate. Okay, 3.4. Okay, this student good or bad. But this is you cannot decide for these CGPA. Based on this CGPA, you cannot decide the whole class result or whole class level. So if we collect all the students' CGPA and convert this as average CGPA of the class, then we can call what? This is the information. Because suppose average CGPA of this class is 3.5, that means good. The level of the class is good. The average CGPA of the class is 3, that means what? Bad. So we just make decision based on what? Information. So from this example, for data you cannot make any decisions, but for information you can make decision. Data is raw fact, information is what? Systemized fact. Now look at this. These data, lots of data are there, and these figures, nobody would understand what does it indicate, 331 or 1.29. But if you look at this part, you see all these data have been put in a systematic manner. So this is what? Information. Now if I ask you, this 331 indicates what? Item number. That means what? This is information. This is what? Information. Okay? So we call this is the difference between data and information. I think if I ask you some other example, you would be able to tell about the data, the difference between data and information. Now as a whole, we call there are three activities of information systems. One is input, second one is processing, third one is what? Output. So whatever the organization type or whatever the systems, these three things are working. Like input, here you see in the think about manufacturing farm. Raw materials is the input, and by using machines and others, we process the raw materials, and when you make finished goods, there is the output. And we have asked this question like library as an information system. What's the input, what's the processing, what's the output? Library? Processing. Which one is input, which one is processing, which one is output? Processing.
That was my ID course. We use the library and the permission the library room, and the collection my books maintained in the processing, and it is the what my library room, the output.
No, you are slightly correct, but here main point is you see, because information system is a set of interrelated components that collect, process, store, distribute. So you just combine lots of elements in the input space, like human resources, like books and others, and then you process these by applying some kind of manual processing or software-based processing. Here we call the librarian and others combine these books in a systematic manner, process these books in a systematic manner, and whenever anyone asks them about book, they are giving you the book. That is the output. That is the output. Think about your hospital. In the hospital, input, there is processing and output. What's the input, what's the processing, what's the output? So here, if you would be able to think about this, input, processing, output. So what we are talking, here you see right now you are in the processing stage. When you got admitted on this university, you are the input. Now you are on the processing. And when you get the degree, you are the output. So as a whole, we call in the information system, basically it passes through these three steps, input, processing and output, and besides these three, we call number 4 of elements of information system is feedback. And feedback actually helps you to correct the input stage. Correct the input stage. Like whether there is any problem on your input stage or not, you would be able to decide based on this feedback. Like what? When you join any organization, now whether you would be able to serve oil or not, if organization collect it, okay, our product is here students are not performing oil, then they may decide, okay, we may admit some good quality students here by applying what? Admission test. By applying admission test. So you are actually correcting the input stage. Correcting the input stage. By what? By getting some kind of feedback. You see, now I am talking, someone are concentrating, someone are getting some interest on my lectures, but someone are not. You are sitting, but some of the I am bombarding with words, hundreds and thousands of words, but all these words are going up on your head. Why? because you don't have any interest on the lectures, because you are lacking some curiosity. Why? Some of you are focusing on getting certificate or degrees rather than learning. So what we should focus? We should focus on learning. That is okay whether I am understanding the concept or not. That's why I am explaining. Otherwise, I don't need to explain the slides. I don't need to give the lectures. What's my duty? Yeah, books are there, slides are there, but I am just explaining these concepts. And you need is to whatever I am explaining, you need is to ask questions. If you don't understand, you need to ask questions. Okay? So this is the number 4 elements of feedback. Information systems. So there are 4 elements of information system. First one is input. Second one is what? Processing. Third one is output, and number 4 is feedback. Now we talk about computer program versus information system, or better, we call the difference between information technology and information systems. Information technology and information systems. Again, sir, IT is a part of information systems. IT means information technology, and IS means information systems. So when we talk about IS is the whole thing, like this building, complete building. This is the information systems. And to prepare or to make this building, to establish this building, you require what? Bricks. Bricks are the IT. So computer is one kind of technology, or computer program is one kind of technology. This is just part of what? Information systems. So in the information systems, behavioral part are there, technical part are there. Technical part and behavioral part combine what? Information systems. Now in future, sir, if anyone asks you, what's the difference between IT and IS, sir? What's the difference between IT and IS? Who would say about this? Yeah. Chitra.
IT is a part of
Information system. So we call IS
system the
whole thing, and IT is a part of the whole thing. Like building is the example of information system, and IT is bricks. Or as our business and commerce. Business is the whole thing. Commerce is part of business. So as like that, when we talk about the IT, here you see CC graduate, they are learning about computer. There is the technology. But while you are talking about information systems, you are learning both technical part and behavioral part. We will show actually information systems deals with this part. That's why you will be the boss of this technical expert. In the organization, you will cover some computer programmer and some tech guys, because you know the technical part and behavioral part. They don't know about the behavioral part. We will show you about the behavioral part, then you will be able to adopt that technology on your organizations. Otherwise, though you know about the technology, though you know how to program, you won't get the superior return. You won't be able to adopt the technology on your organization. So this is the difference between IT and IS. Now look at this graph. Because information systems work as heart of the organizations. Information systems as heart of the organizations. Or information systems work here, play central role in the business organizations. If I explain this, you see, in the business environment, some role players are there, like suppliers, like customers, like regulatory agencies, like stockholders, like competitors. All these players are playing role. All these players are playing role. And information, as an information systems specialist, what's the duty? You are collecting data from all the role players, from all the actors. So you are collecting data from regulatory agencies, you are collecting data from stakeholders, and you are processing this data to make meaningful information in order to assist the decision making. Now, if you make decisions from one of the elements of the data, your decision might be wrong if you don't combine other elements. Example, like government imposed tax on your product. Not only on your product, you call the industry, you are belong to one kind of industry. So on your industry, government imposed tax. Due to this, you got this data, and due to this, you just increase the product price. You increase the product price. You didn't consider the competitor action. You didn't consider other actions. And what will happen? You see, your competitors' price may be lower, but your price will be higher, because they may reduce the raw material cost, or they may manage this in other ways. That means what? Due to this lack of information, you wouldn't able to compete in the competition. And for that reason, we call information system actually helps managers to collect data from each and every actors of the business environment and process this data to make meaningful information in order to assist decision making in the organization. And for this reason, we call information systems plays a role. Again, without information system, no organization would survive, because information systems collect data. Collect data from where? From environmental actors, from these regulatory agencies, from stockholders, competitors, suppliers, customers. So you are collecting data, and you process this data to make what? Meaningful information. To make meaningful information in order to what? Assist decision making. And for this reason, we call information system work as heart of the organization. These play central role in the business organizations. Now, as a whole, we call
এবার স্যার সত্যি সবগুলো মাথার উপর দিয়ে যাবে স্যার।
here as a whole, this part will take break. There are we call the 3 dimensions of information systems. 3 dimensions of information systems. First one is organizational dimension, second one is management dimension, third one is technology dimension. Organization, management, and technology. So, how to optimize the relationship among organization, management, and technology is known as information system literacy. Again, sir, these are differences. You see, difference between IT and IS. Difference between IT and IS. IT deals with this technical part, and IS deals with both technical part and behavioral part. In the behavioral part, there are 2 dimensions. One is organizational dimension, second one is management dimension. So throughout the course, we will learn about the organizational dimension, we will learn about the management dimension, we will learn about the technology dimension, and you will learn how to adopt the technology in the organization by applying management properly. In chapter 2, we will talk about the management issues. In chapter 3, we will talk about the organization issues. In chapter 5, 6, 7, there we will talk about the technology issues. Okay? So, what is it? If we talk about the information systems dimensions, how many parts are there? 3 parts are there. One is what? Organizational dimensions. Second one is management dimensions. Third one is technology dimensions. This is, as a whole, we call information system literacy. That is how to optimize the relationship among organization, management, and technology is known as what? Information system literacy. This is all from today's part. Now we will take a break. After that,